me a down payment for one of those, Terry.
Well,
I need one of those.
Well, Terry's got to leave soon, so we got to give him the spotlight for a little bit here. Terry, start off real quick. Celtics win Game 7 last night. Better to be lucky than good, Terry. You Celtics got it done, didn't they?
It's not lucky than good. I mean, for Toronto, it's lucky they were even still in it.
Oh, my gosh. The defending champions.
Yeah, like the shot from three-point line that won a game for them. And then the other night when they come back after the game and said Kemba got fouled and he should have been at the line, you know, they didn't call that. And then Toronto wins that game. I mean, so the refs kept them in it at one time. And then a critical mistake on Boston on one end where Jaylen Brown didn't guard the guy that was standing behind a three-point line. But, you know, Boston come out and say, hey, I give Toronto all the credit in the world, though. When you're defending champions, they proved that they could play no matter who they had out there. I think their worst thing about it is we always talk about showing up. Well, Lowry didn't show up.
He fouled out 16
5
points.
out of 15 from the floor. I mean, you know, some people say, well, that's it. You know, hey, this is big-time Game 7. Where when you had Leonard showed up, you know, Lowry's going to have to make, I know he's been in the league for 14 years, but he's got to make that extra effort to step up because this is his team. He's supposed to lead them, and last night Boston put it on him. They shut him down.
Well, again, as I try to tell you guys, having the point guard being the leading scorer of your team doesn't work out. Kemba Walker gets to play with two really good wings, and all of a sudden he's in the Eastern Conference Finals, and he's never won a playoff series before. Kemba didn't show up at all the last two games. One, his shot is off right now, and I want to get to that in just a second. But I did want to point out, you know, not only did Toronto lose Kawhi Leonard, they lost Danny Green, so they lost two. They're both starting their wings. They're shooting guard and they're small forward. So for Lowry to do what he did as a point guard, I think he did pretty good. I think they had a chance to win. They could have won. Terry, as far as Boston is concerned, could you answer me this? And you probably do know more about it. Just watching it, I think y'all aren't using Kemba Walker right at all. How many times does Jason Tatum or Brown initiate the offense and Kemba's just standing over in the corner? Like, his speed is so hard to stay in front of, so when he does get the ball, it's almost like he has to hurry up, try to do something with 10, 12 seconds left as opposed to bringing it up and attacking. And Tatum, to his credit, does pretty decent, but Siakam was all over him defensively with those long arms, and I just didn't understand why Kemba does not run the offense, and that would be the point of bringing him in. And then last night, 5 of 16, 14 points. Is that a normal thing that they like to run Tatum at the top?
That's exactly what Boston's going to run.
That's not. I mean, y'all need to trade Kemba then, because he's not. That's not his game. Standing there.
Kemba is lucky that he's on our team to even have a chance at winning games. You know, and that's how I'll put this. I mean,
they'd be winning games if his front office in Charlotte was worth anything.
Yeah,
well,
true, very true.
When you go to Boston, Boston's one of those teams. Like, and I will get to the other game.
Two lead scorers for Boston last night had 50 points. Tatum and Brown, the shooting guard, and the small forward. Yeah.
I have nothing wrong with that, but Boston can be led by anybody.
I'm just saying that
Tatum can run the show.
I'm
Brown
saying your
can run the
offense
show.
would be
Walker
a lot better
can run the show.
if Kemba was running the actual point, and he's not actually running point. It was kind of weird seeing him play in a fashion that it's not good for his game at all. Is what I'm.
Well, what do you do? I mean,
I'm not saying he should ball hog. I'm saying he should have the ball at the top of the key instead of the 6'8" guy being defended. Let's stand Kemba in the corner. You might as well just have, you know, Kyle Korver or somebody else standing over there if Kemba's out there. It's just what was weird to me is his strength, Hunter, right, is attacking the basket, being able to put the guy on skates to where he can't stay in front of him. And then I never saw him attack the basket. He would drive and then pull up and either dump it or pull up a little jumper. And when the jumpers were all contested, because Toronto was playing decent defense, so I just thought that was weird how they were using Kemba. It was just
I just think that Kemba just in this system doesn't have to play like we're used to seeing him play in Charlotte.
Does not.
He doesn't have to. So
If I'm a coach,
And what
under no
is
circumstances
always
will I have Jason Tatum initiating the offense instead of Kimba.
what
and have
always
him
but
standing in the
think about
corner.
what do we always think that Kimba was really good at? He's good at creating his own shot and then a pick and roll situation. Well, Boston really doesn't have a big
They
man
don't
that
do
can run
any
the pick and roll.
They don't do
So
any with him.
there is no pick and roll to be made. A lot of it is you've got your wings on the
Yeah.
perimeter. Kimba, if he does bring the ball up, it's you see what the defense is going to give you, and you feed it to one of your wings, and they pound the rock inside, or they just pull up three. That's basketball now, though. Not a lot of teams run the pick and roll, because I think we all can agree the center essentially is dead. Setting the pick and then rolling to the basket. It's wide open all the time because the centers or power forwards are not in
I
the
think Boston's
lane.
going to have more problems with Miami than Toronto with Butler and the wings and how aggressive the guards. I mean, Lowry and Van Vliet, they're going to
I think it's
going to
go 7. I'll be the first one to say. I think Miami, Boston can go 7.
But you're at the park, you're in the street, you're wherever you are. Who's tougher, Jimmy Butler or Jason Tatum? How many Duke players have led their team to a championship?
Well, I'm not going to take
happened.
anything away from Duke for Jason Tatum playing at Duke, because Jason Tatum, for a lot of people that don't know, Jason Tatum, when he first got in the league, person he studied under in like his off seasons was Kobe. His game reminds me a lot of Kobe. I've said it multiple times. He's got a lot. I will never say he is Kobe, but he's got a lot of Kobe Bryant in his game. But I will admit, if you ask me which one's got more dog in him, it's 100% Jimmy Butler. Now, will they ask Jimmy Butler to exert more energy on the defensive side of the ball guarding Tatum, or will they say, because we know Tatum could go off for 30, or are they going to say, we'll get on Jaylen Brown because he could go for 30? That's why, to me, that's why I had Boston making the finals to begin with. Excuse me. It has nothing to do with me being a Boston fan or anything. I just think Boston in the East had the most firepower out of any team. Especially now that we're getting deep enough to where Gordon Hayward could come back.
Get ready to say they said just cleared quarantine. Said that he will appear in the series sometime. Didn't say he's going to be ready for game 1.
And don't forget Smart. He stepped up his game.
For some reason, he really has. He really has.
I tell you what, he's the reason they won last night. He really is. As far as
he played good defense.
You have to get all right. So Tatum and Brown got 50. You have to get that from them. Kim was disappointing with 14, and then Smart played good defense and got 16 points. He got tough plays when they needed. And the Raptors have 2 guards and no wings really. And Siakam is not a
Siakam really never showed up for Toronto.
He had 13 last night. Yeah.
He never showed up. I mean, he probably averaged like 15
who didn't show up
was
a newbie with 4 points and 35 minutes at the small forward position. Good job, kid. Jimmy Butler's getting more than 4 at the small forward.
I watched Siakam, and I said it, I think, before the playoffs started, or maybe during even the regular season. Look, Pascal Siakam is good, but he is not that guy yet. Even with Toronto last year, he was a great complementary piece for Kawhi and Lowry. Does he have that guy potential? Yeah, sure. But he's still a young guy who's learning the game of basketball and learning to play it at a high level. And eventually, it's not a reliable jump shot. And eventually he will get to the point where he can be reliable. But as of right now, Kyle Lowry still has to shoulder that team. And that's really tough. He's done it for years, but
he has.
I will say this. If we never see Kyle Lowry again in a conference finals, at least he got his ring.
All right. Well, Terry, Celtics to win the championship.
I say they do.
Tom,
I'm going to be honest. Can I say this?
Yeah.
I'm going to say this right here as Tom's sitting here.
As long as you don't break FCC
Congratulations to the Lakers.
Well,
they finally learned what get the ball inside means.
Yeah, when you're outsized the team the way they do,
They destroyed them on the inside.
Yeah, they're pounding. Well, we talked about that a couple weeks ago. If you've got that size advantage,
I thought we was talking about.
Go inside. It should
because
they
outscored them 60-some, 20-some underneath, and I was like, who in the world put that in their head? Finally,
y'all need to tell me I'm right about that though. I sent it to Hunter last night in a tweet about the bubble getting busted by the ladies. House for Houston was kicked out of the bubble, and his wife is raking him over the coals on Instagram right now. So Houston's bubble has been popped. So we don't know what's going on in that situation. But he has left the team and didn't play the last 2 games.
And that is tonight at 8 o'clock.
Yeah. So let me
that one was coming.
Let me get this straight. He left the bubble, but not for his to see his wife. Okay.
Right. If that's the most PC way of
No. He left the bubble because the team said you have to leave the bubble. The person was there.
Yeah.
In the bubble.
The bubble was infiltrated.
They infiltrated the bubble. And they found somebody that was not accounted for was in his room.
And nature takes its course.
So I read that part of the reason the NBA players were pushing Vegas was because they would have had to stay in the casinos and they could sneak people in.
Yeah.
As opposed to being locked down in Orlando. So there's a little bit to that.
But it was kind of funny. I can't remember who was talking about it. The younger guys are doing well in this bubble because they're not worried about their wife and kids. Where the older guys it's distracting to them. You know, it's interesting to look at it from that angle. But I would maybe look at it from the other angle that the married guy comes home, plops on the couch, and hangs out in his house. It's the younger guys that want to go out and all this stuff. So I guess there's a bunch of different angles, but it does create a unique situation.
Yes.
You know, where you cannot go, and some people like my age now, I'd be fine with that. You know, I don't really go all that many places, but if you like to go out or you got a wife that likes to go out, it's got to be hard on some of those guys, even though they're making millions of dollars. I do understand that. I remember Kevin said, I'd lock myself up in the bubble for X million dollars.
For 3 months. What are we talking about?
Yeah, it's got to be a little bit tough, but I guess you're going to talk a little bit about the Denver game. I was going to congratulate Kevin that the Joker was out
Terry's got to go, I think.
Okay, Terry.
Terry's going to umpire and everything. Terry, before you go, you want to tell me I was right?
On what?
On our conversation last night.
No, you're wrong.
All right. Well,
Not in our league.
We see, that's the end. That's the end. All right, Hunter. We got because I wanted Terry to be he's happy about his Celtics, so I'm gonna. He even brought that in just for 5 minutes, Tom. Look at this. He's taking it home. He is what a troll.
Yeah. Get that out of here.
The biggest troll
take that home
that we've got is
take that
Terry.
home. I got a nice attic for that to go in.